I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Now, live from Chicago, the Hal Sparks radio program mega worldwide.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Hal Sparks, your comedian and multimedia personality.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hal Sparks.
All right, let's do this.
It's one of those Saturdays, Johnny Million. Welcome to the show, everybody. Glad you could join us. Go to infotainmentwars.com and subscribe today. Or if you're on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/HalSparks, where we just, as of yesterday, managed to meet our goal of 1,000 subscribers. I was amazed, and I missed it entirely.
I was that on Twitch.
No, well, I've got a lot of followers, but it's, but you know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. And that's, that's always the tough part, because it's not that it isn't, I swear, it isn't that the followers aren't lovely, because they totally are. Yeah. But it doesn't, help actually support the show. It's just a good thing, right? It just gets eyeballs and makes everybody, the information is the primary thing. So that's a good thing. I'm glad those watchers are there. Yes. But it's a huge deal when you get up into, those are the kind of things. Like we just hit 32K a little while ago and on subscribers on YouTube. And in terms of the millions of subscriber groups that are out there, that's not a big deal. But when you're a little organic station like ours, it means a lot. And it's lovely. Mm-hmm. Because we actually interact with our people. We don't have a bunch of purchased viewers and bots. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying. Who does it? Russell Brand, Jimmy Dork, TYT, everybody on Newsmax.
Hal, please don't name names.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were on the air. Anyway, so
okay, a few more.
Now the thing about social media is a thing that, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but Trump apparently, you're on Truth Social, aren't you, Johnny Million? Aren't you verified?
Oh, yeah, I've got 4 or 5 accounts.
Yeah, right. Just a bunch of sock puppets. Yeah. So I'm on Truth Social. I have an account. It took me a while, but I finally got past the censors, and I've got an account on there. And Trump, truthed. I don't even know how to say it. For the first time on Truth Social. He socialed. He's
oh my God, really?
Yeah, I think they're called Spurgs, but I might be wrong. On Truth Social. And he just put a picture up of him, I think, golfing and said, "I'm back." Just him standing there. And the fascinating thing is, why all of a sudden? Why? What is that related? Why all of a sudden is Donald Trump bothering to spurg on Truth Social, I swear I'm going to make that stick. He did that because they purchased their way to the top of the App Store by basically buying these like junk loader accounts, which is how you artificially boost things. They'll catch on eventually, but by then you've been number one a few times and you can say we're number one in the App Store. Then the other reason is because there's been a huge exodus of right-wingers from Parler, Gab, all to go to Twitter. Because they think...
because of Elon Musk. Yeah.
Right, because they think he purchased it, so now they're just going to be able to, set up, sell ivermectin via eBay on,
What do they think is going to be different?
Everything. They think it's just going to be like, that you'll never get kicked off no matter what you say, that,
they can... there and own the libs?
I guess. And yet, the irony is that Twitter does now and has had less stringent terms of service than Truth Social has. Because you can make fun of Trump on Twitter. You can't do it on Truth Social. You'll get bounced.
Yeah.
It's the one true king rule that they have over there. But he jumped on to tweet or splurg or whatever because everybody's leaving. That it was to staunch the bleeding. Somebody told him well, we're number one in the App Store, but everybody's going to go back to Twitter now that Elon Musk bought it. So you got to get on there and start posting whatever. Hal Vickery, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah. Andrea, are you saying that it's hard to hear Johnny? It's hard to hear me?
It is?
Or you just don't like what I'm saying?
I will boost you a little bit just in case, but we should.
I could be hard to hear. It's hard to hear a lot of what I have to say.
You're hard to handle. I will say that. Pretty little thing. Yeah, exactly. A lot of fascinating aspects of this, obviously in the social media world, and I think besides all that, which is hilarious and pitiful, and most people were like, the oh my gosh, here he comes thing, and the I'm back thing, and the fact that you saw it on Twitter, everybody was like, oh my God, he's back on Twitter, and yet it was a post from Truth Social. He's not back on Twitter, and yet, even though he's not back on Twitter, ironically enough, Satan was trending this morning.
That's so weird.
Now, Satan trending on Twitter shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, obviously, I don't know why he doesn't have a standing position.
I always get nervous when I see something like somebody that I'm a fan of trending on Twitter because I'm like, oh no, they died.
Right.
But when Satan is trending on Twitter, I'm like, all right, I'm listening.
Right. You had me at hello. Sorry. So, why is Satan trending this fine morning on Twitter? It's because of it makes total sense if you think about it. It's because Marjorie Taylor Greene made it trend, and I think if you're gonna have somebody trend for any particular reason, if Satan's gonna trend, MTG should be the reason, I think. Now,
the only reason.
This week, as the lead Republican, the future, the once and Mrs. Trump, genuinely like the natural placeholder for Trump in the world currently for a lot of Republicans. And then there's a bit of a fight going on, which I called, by the way, can I just say, in the Republican Freedom Caucus that happened this week, which I will talk about as well. But here's why it's trending. She was on this religious show hosted by the guy who looks like vaguely like the villain in Sylvester Stallone's Cobra. And
wow, I haven't seen Cobra in a while.
You'll
and I always confuse it with Tango and Cash.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sacrilege. That's just wrong.
Which one should I respect?
Clearly Cobra. Come on.
Tango and Cash is pretty funny.
It's funny, but and Cobra was written to be a comedy. I don't know if you know that.
No.
Yeah, Stallone was trying to get out of his contract with Golem Globus or Canon or whatever, both, because they're basically the same company. And he had to do one more movie. So he bought the rights to a book called Fair Game, which was this macho kind of piece of pulp that he could get on the cheap, wrote the script himself, and put in every cliche about a Dirty Harry movie or whatever that he could possibly come up with.
You're kidding me.
And no, and from the whole like,
said, hold the phone, we're going to take this seriously.
Well, no, they started like essentially during the development process, they were like, this is kind of awesome. And the thing is, they put the opening on it and it changed the tone of the entire thing. If you've watched the opening where the gun turns towards the screen and it talks about crime statistics in the United States and all that kind of stuff. But the point is that like, I don't deal with psychos. I put them away. You're a disease and I'm the cure. That kind of stuff. Like he was literally writing that to mess with the production company so he could just get it over with. Because he was looking down the barrel of doing things like Copland in a few years, right? That was where he was trying to legitimize himself. So anyways, long story short, too late. He wrote that to be kind of a tongue-in-cheek, almost over-the-top, borderline cartoon. And
so nice.
and then it ended up being one of the best, I would say, horror action movies. And there are very few of those crossovers. I think Silent
maybe I haven't seen
Silent
Cobra
Rage
all the way through.
The closest one is Chuck Norris's Silent Rage, which is about a serial killer who's almost unstoppable, gets out. Well, he can't kill him, but he breaks out of an asylum after he's been brought back to life, and only Chuck Norris can kick him into a well. That it's basically
Are
Friday.
You gonna make me watch Cobra again?
Yep. I'm gonna make you get the poster. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to
the matchstick in his mouth in that one, right?
Yes, he does. Because
Okay.
he doesn't smoke, but you need something phallic sticking out of your mouth. What? All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene described on this religious show what Satan says in a way that when a woman is thinking about getting an abortion, in a way that sounds oddly like that's what she thinks she heard. Now, I will say, for the record,
you sound like you heard this first person.
Yeah, listen to this. Here it comes.
It's whispered softly and gently into your ears and into your soul. And he tells you it's okay. And he says it's just this one thing. You're just going to get it done, get it over with. And then he tells you a promise. He promises you.
Right. Yeah, this is nutty. She's talking about Satan, by the way, in case anyone's questioning.
How do you know? You know this too well.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why in a second. I'll tell you how she knows.
Is this what she explains to her priest?
No, she doesn't have a priest. She has a preacher because I don't know if you saw the other part, but the Catholic Church apparently is evil as well.
All these dreams that you have in your heart. And that's how Satan sells a sin. Mm-hmm. And that's how he sells abortion. He tells a woman that all you have to do is you're just going to go to this clinic, just going to get it over with, And then you're going to, that guy, he's going to stay with you. That boyfriend or the guy, whoever he is, he's going to marry you, sweep you off your feet.
And by the way, am I right about, if you're watching on the live stream, you see what I'm saying about the villain from Cobra?
What's on his head?
I don't know. I think it's a ferret from the Ron Paul collection. We don't know.
Why doesn't somebody tell these people?
It's whispered.
Yeah. Why doesn't, sorry, say what?
Why doesn't someone tell far right wingers that comb overs don't work no matter how far back you start?
It's a good question.
Yeah, you don't have to have the answer.
I'm going to guess because they don't really like them.
Yeah, they're like, no, looks good, Bill.
You look great. Mr. Trump, you look fantastic. So here's why she knows. Here's in all seriousness, here's why she apparently oddly knows what this sounds like. She's not talking about her own personal experience that I know of. What she's doing is like a hack road preacher minister version of the Satan lie story that happens all over. So Christian churches all over the place, especially mega churches, evangelical churches in particular, there are certain methodologies that they use to talk to people to psychologically manipulate them. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those, that the devil isn't this big rah thing, because that doesn't seem to stop any of them from sinning at all.
Right.
What the devil is like a friend. He seems to want the best for you, and it seems fine at the time. But then, after a while, you're like, maybe, he doesn't mean well. Maybe I've been tricked, but it's too late.
They can't hear themselves. They're describing themselves.
Right. No Pulse in the chat room says, Satan is your friend, though, Hal. How did you know? How do you know we've hung out? Leave me alone. Stop paparazzi. Leave me. No.
But it's just like Trump accusing everybody of things that he's already done.
Oh, totally. Yes. No question. There is definitely a level.
Careful of these manipulators, because I happen to know how to manipulate.
Yes, I know. Yes, the tools to manipulate people go exactly like this. And I tell you the whole thing, but I don't want to. I can't afford to give away my secrets. Right. So it's a fascinating aspect of this. But this week also, it's not just trending because she told a little story about Satan whispering in your ear and apparently giving you a lollipop and, you know, giving you a ride. Satan, it's interesting. Satan looks an awful lot like my sister. And she just tells me what to do, and I do it. And then she gives me a ride, and then we go to, like, Cracker Barrel afterwards. And then the next thing you know, evil. Impolite and evil. Satan, by the way, if you don't know, looks exactly like Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall, for the record.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm wearing a Kiss shirt just for the irony of being told those kind of things.
Because we are Knights in Satan's service.
Exactly. I was always accused of that when I was a kid by her ilk, right?
Yeah.
It was that crowd that was always telling me that my music was satanic, even though mine never called for harming anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing, like, when country music suggests the bombing of foreign entities. We got to take a break. But it's another thing entirely that my music has not ever, nor will it ever, the music of Kiss that I enjoy very, very much and have since I was 5 years old, has never called for harming anyone. Period.
What about Rip and Destroy?
That was not them. That was the Doubles in Kiss Meets the Phantom. Don't try to sucker me, man. We got to take a break. We'll be back right after this. It's the House Sparks Radio program, Mega Worldwide on WCPT Radio, Chicago's Progressive Talk. I went over the break.
That wasn't them.